So, apparently I finally got bored of other zones because now I am in Plane of Mischief. I think I said I was going to do a video for Siren's Grotto because I intended to get my Nereid shawl and then upgrade some pieces of gear before I came to Plane of Mischief. But I spent, several hours in Siren's Grotto getting the shawl and everything, but I didn't end up making a video because I died a lot in the process of being there. And the video would have been more watching me wait off res sickness and matting up than anything else. But I will go back to Siren's Grotto and make a video eventually. Maybe more than one, depending on if I figure other things out there than just the one camp that I was at. But anyways, I'm in Plane of Mischief. I am quite a ways inside of Plane of Mischief. I guess it's kind of a crazy zone. I don't know if everybody who's watching or anybody who's watching is familiar with it. So I'll just kind of start from the beginning, I guess. To get to Plane of Mischief, you have to cross almost all of Temple of Ishan. So pretty much the only way anybody gets in here is by I really should restart this video and start at the zone in. I don't feel like it. I'm too lazy. Anyways, pardon the awkward pause while I deliberate on what I want to do. So anyway, boy, I really gotta buy J boots and get a Pegasus cloak. I'm used to being in dungeons, right? Plane Mischief is an outdoor zone. Anyways, so the only way to get here is to cross all the way through Temple of Ishan, the highest level raid zone in P99, and unless you're very friendly with dragons, and even then I'm not sure if you're able to get all the way across the zone without dying. It's very nasty, very hard to do. So you basically have to pay a mage who's bound at the don't mind me while I zip my way out of here. You basically have to pay a mage who's bound at this very specific point right by the little thing you have to click to zone into Plane of Mischief to get you here. And if you can't bind, you don't want to if you can't bind, you don't want to be here, basically, because it's going to be a hell of a corpse run crossing Temple of Ishan to get back. Sorry if I'm stuttering and stammering and pausing here. I'm not too familiar with the zone yet. I've only been in here for a few hours, so it's a slow process. Anyway, so right now, but what I was saying before, it's tricky to get here. Not a lot of people come here unless you're able to solo, duo, or trio. So enchanters, shamans, clerics, maybe some necros, druids, a handful of other people maybe, but in general you're not going to be here unless you can bind yourself and you're a solo, duo, trio class, because everything in the zone can be duoed. I think he already sent me that tell. Can't get out of this water with air elemental on. Everything in the zone can be duoed by a cleric enchanter, although some of it can be a little tricky. So I'm trying to walk over to the warp in, the point that you first come into the zone from, without getting myself killed along the way. There's traps in the woods, apparently, that spawn monsters. I haven't managed to step on any yet. I guess there's like 10 of them. I don't know where they are. Anyway, when you click on the little icon in Temple of Ishan, this is where you end up standing up on this thing in what's called the forest here in Palm. You can hear the cackling going on in the background, and I guess there's like loot in Plane of Mischief is kind of goofy. There's almost nothing drops much. There's no direct gear drops really. You get cards. There's 4 different colors of squire, knight, crown, and throne cards. And when you get the cards, you get to combine them in the deck of spontaneous generation in the right orders to create items. And then from there you can also use those and do some other little mini quests in the zone to create class specific items from the stuff that you already have. around the zone, different things drop these different cards. So most of the stuff here in the forest just drops the squires, the knights. I don't know exactly how everything drops. You know, there's just this Biznawa running around and the bee, and there's these mushroom dudes out here. And then if you trigger the traps, there's I don't know where the traps are, but there's traps out here that, if I can get myself lined up again to get back to the door, I don't really want to trigger any traps. But I guess you can farm out here. This stuff dies easily, and you know, if you've got any kind of small group, you're going to do a lot of DPS and annihilate this stuff. But you can get the low-level cards out here, and then up inside the castle and the huge maze of the rest of the zone, you can get more stuff. Over here is, let's see if I can find it. So the bee is chasing her, apparently. I didn't notice that. That's funny. I wouldn't want to get stung by that. This tree right over here, see that I can't reach? This tree is a zone out to Cobalt Scar. If you click on it, you appear in the water out in Cobalt Scar. So I'm just going to kind of run around in here a little bit just for a quick video, and maybe I'll kill some stuff. The things where I logged in are one of the best spots to kill, especially if you're solo, to kill things that can spawn the thrones, or drop the thrones, the highest level cards. There's only a handful of camps in the zone, really, it seems like, even though it's a big place. There's not a lot of mobs. It has a way different feel because most of the stuff in here is not kill on sight. So it has a way different feel to it than most dungeons do, or most zones as a whole. It's very goofy and off the wall, and got little tricks and traps and secret doors all over the place, and you know, the kind of confusing way loot works on top of things. Something that's interesting about the zone is that the mobs in here only hit for I'm losing all my buffs slowly and surely. The mobs in here only hit for the same amounts that you would expect stuff from Classic and Kunark to hit for. So like in Classic or Kunark, level 40 hits for 100, level 40 or level 50 hits for 140, a level 60 hits for 180. Velious mobs break the rule and most of the time, and they hit harder than that for their level. Stuff in here doesn't, though. It pretty much hits how you would expect them to. So once you've crossed through the forest, if you're messing around in the zone here, this is actually a little trap. If you step on it, you fall into the water down here, and then this is a one-way wall. It's pushed out here and you're stuck down there. There's an invisible wall or invisible ramp over here that takes you up onto the ledge. I'm going to regret showing you this because this ledge up here has dispel traps on it. Oh, apparently I didn't catch the ledge, or the invisible ramp. It's around here somewhere. I don't know how big it is. Where are you? Well, I caught it the first time, the last time I was over here. And now I can't, for the life of me, step on the right point to, there we go. Okay, so up on this, you know, just more stuff that's not kill on sight. I don't know what the deal with most of the mobs in this zone is because I haven't been out here enough to really know too well. But there's definitely dispel traps on this little thing. So as I walk along here, it's only a matter of time before I get buff strips. Since I don't want to lose anything important. Recast a bunch of buffs so that I don't lose all my important ones. I think there's one more. Maybe not. I don't know what these people are doing. They might be zipping in here to take over my spawns, but they won't be back up for quite a while. So this is the main entrance to the castle. Everything in here has like a 72-minute respawn, so it's kind of a unique place, like I've said in a lot of ways. Lost my clarity. Anyways, this hallway is the main entrance into the place. I don't know, castle, whatever you want to call it. There's the first trap is right up in front of this door, so you don't want to just beeline straight up there. Somebody must have charmed or killed one. There's another skunk, I think, who stands right here. You can go either direction, I think, to find a secret door. I thought there was secret doors in both directions, but maybe not. Anyway, that pit leads you down into some annoying to navigate maze full of monsters. I still don't think the stuff is kill on sight down there. But you can take this secret path around to end up, right on the other side of that door. And this is the main hall. Oh, somebody else has been killing stuff in here because there's supposed to be a treasure chest right here that it has a low chance of dropping the nice drop, so occasionally it gets killed. But if you attack it, it spawns a bunch of kill on sight halflings all around this room. So apparently it's etiquette to announce that you're going to attack it. I don't really know my way around here all that well. It's kind of crazy. There's secret doors all over the place. There's invisible mobs standing around showing you where things are. This is the direction that I know how to go right now, so this is where I'll run around. In order to get this deck of spontaneous generation, that you need to combine the cards that drop in here, you have to come kill this guy, Dinner. But carefully not to zone. There's 2 level 55 wizards up here who cast nukes on you when you run in there to get him. They're stuck on that ramp though, so you can calm them or just run in and run out with a harm shield or whatever. And then after you get that deck, wrong spot. After you get the drop off of Dinner, I'll show you where the guy that you turn it into is. Maybe, if I can remember where everything is. There we go. So this is the hedge maze. It's full of plants of a variety of classes. This is an enchanter, a wizard, druid, I think it's a rogue, another enchanter. They're tucked away too. They're hard to spot sometimes, see? You could get trained. They assist each other, although they don't aggro. They're all over the place. I think that's just a warrior. Invisible wall there, Shadow Knight. So there's a ton of them in here, and they assist from a pretty long ways. They're like right around level 50, just a little higher, I think. I charmed them with a lure, which has a level cap of 51, but they do summon. They hit for right around 140, 150. I thought I went all the way around the back side here. There's another. It's not really much of a maze. Enough of a maze to get me messed up, though, apparently. I thought I had gone all the way around to the back side, but maybe I missed the... I must have missed the little secret passage that lets me into the next. There we go. Okay. And then further in, still some more stuff. I don't know what this dude's deal is. Here's the NPC that you turn in the item you get from Dinner to, and that's what gives you the deck of spontaneous generation. The stuff in here can drop the low and mid-level cards, I guess. There's 4 tiers of them. I don't really know if it can drop crowns or if it's just the lower stuff. The crown drops, or all the cards seem to be pretty rare. I've killed, I don't know, 30, 40 mobs in here total, between duoing with paramedics and soloing in here, and save helping me out a little bit. And I haven't seen anything drop except these little things that contribute towards the process of making class-specific orders. When you're done messing around in the hedge maze, you can click here. You shall not pass. Allegedly, you're supposed to run right through this room without stopping. I haven't figured out what happens if you don't stop, because I haven't dared to not stop when I'm running through the room. So, unlike the Balrog, I'll just charge right through. And then continue on my way. Oh, bugger. I'm slowly learning where the doors are that I need to take. Ooh. Oh, yeah, here's where I need to be. So this is the upside down wing of the dungeon. I can't levitate up on there because I'm too low to the ground. Do the left trick a little bit to get myself up higher. Swim through here. I would, demonstrate more what's going on in here, but I don't really know what's going on in here myself. I just kind of know how to get around to a handful of places This is Bristlebane's throne room with piles of gold. He's too cheap to have platinum, I guess. And then this takes me back to the starting area. That's the door that leads back out to the forest. The location that I've been killing things in is also gotten to kind of by this direction. See if I can remember it. I think it's a long... Nope. Yeah, there we go. It's a long trip to get there. We'll see if I can make it without having to reference a map. Damn it. There's an invisible barrier there that you sneak around by going this way. There we go. And then there's a pit trap over there. This is the theater area where the best spot to get the high level cards is. But you can't do it solo, I don't think. It's not efficient anyways. Maybe a shaman could. I don't know. There's level... I don't know what level they are. Super high level mobs that spawn behind this curtain when this little event is going on and you're killing the right mob. There's a little dude who comes out, you have to kill him, and it bugs out the script so that the little puppet show doesn't go on, and all the puppets, which are the puppets of the different deities, just sit back here and wait to die. But they're really tough, apparently, and I haven't tried to duo them. But now I will run around to the area where I can kill things in that can drop thrones besides that chest that's right at the entrance. It wasn't up, but that showed you where it was. The zone's quite a bit to take in, mainly because you got to figure out how to run around and where to go and everything. Dang it! No. I went to the wrong room. But I've only been in here 3 or 4 hours today, and I've started getting a pretty good grasp of what's going on. I've only run these routes once or twice, and they're not that hard to remember. It's pretty hard to get turned around, I think, as long as you're not falling into the traps that take you into the basement. It's just that if you don't know where the secrets are and what doors to click on to take you to the spots you want to be at, what items to click on, then you get a little messed up. So now I'm in the chessboard area. There's like 5 little gorilla dudes in the middle here on this psychedelic chessboard that the colors of it keep shifting back and forth. Give you seizures. The 2 thrones in here click out to different locations. I haven't fought this stuff yet. I guess they drop the mid-level cards also. This throne, where the hell am I now? I don't remember. I don't remember where I am now. This will be interesting. I think, am I at the... Okay, so now I'm in Alice in Wonderland. It starts off with these little rooms and a handful of different mobs. These dudes are right around level 50. They all summon. They hit for about 150, 160. And then they just... These are the ones that most people usually use as pets, but I think all of this can be used as pets if you really want to. That's one cycle of Alice in Wonderland, and then it repeats. So everything gets a little bigger, and you go through all the same stuff again. So Grink gets the same layout of the rooms, it's the same mobs, they're just a little tougher. They get higher level, and I guess maybe they have more hit points, but they don't tend to hit harder. They're bigger, obviously. But like, this 22 is blue, but he's going to hit for 180 max. The highest level, 22, is also a 180 max hit, but he's level 60. So he resisted 5 slows when I killed him just a little while ago, which would have been trouble if Charm would have worn off. But it held. So there's, they call it A1, A2, A3, A4 for the 4 different sizes of Alice in Wonderland. And, the higher you go, the better the cards that can drop are, apparently. I haven't seen any yet to know, but the highest in A4 can drop the different throne cards, which are the rarest part that you need in order to I should have brought a pet, I guess, to kill some of the A3 stuff. The A4 stuff isn't going to respawn for quite some time still, because I just killed it before I started this video. This is at least 40 minutes or so. So now I'm coming into A4, I believe. Or I just passed into it, maybe. Yeah. So there's the two halflings for A4 spawn here, and then the 22, the invisible guys in the next room. The gorilla and the rat are behind me. The two halflings and this 22 guy, who none of them are up, he spawns right here, are the ones who can drop thrones. Maybe some of the other stuff over here can, I'm not sure. I've been told no. But I haven't seen anything yet to confirm one way or the other anyways. Oh, Paramedics is back. I think those guys were doing hate, and he might be dead. I gotta check my log and see what time I killed stuff in here. The soloing in here is more tolerable than Siren's Grotto, because Siren's Grotto soloing is kind of gimmicky. You have to take advantage of the fact that some of the mobs in there don't like to come out of the water in order to kill the stuff in there, because they're just so tough that, if you try to fight things in a typical way, you end up getting yourself killed as soon as the charm breaks. Generally. I'm not a Siren's Grotto master, but that's what it seems like. So this is better because fights are a little more standard, although because of how open everything is, like look at how much room, it's deceptive because everything's big, how far across this room it is. I can't cast halfway across this room as my max cast distance. Hold on, my cat's playing with something, I gotta chase him off. And I'm getting text messages. But because of how open it is and how few mobs there are, and because nothing's kill on sight, it's a much different way of playing a dungeon than in the, basically all the rest of the game. There's a few places where things are kill on sight, and there's a few things that you can get yourself in trouble with if you don't know what you're doing. You kill the wrong mob, or you aggro the wrong thing, or you fall through a pit. But in general, it's if you have just even a small idea of what you're doing in the zone, and you're just a little careful, then you can do very well in here, I think, relatively speaking. And you can pick your fights one at a time pretty much, and all that. Some of the other areas are a little sketchier. This is probably the safest area to solo, especially for the thrones, because of how few mobs there are and how spread out they are. Pretty much everything's single pulls. I don't know how it works for other classes, but for me, I'll show you how I do it in just a minute here, after I recast my buffs, because I think they're generally getting pretty low. I cast Augment recently. My cat's driving me nuts. Little scratching noises. I gotta chase him out of my room. I'll be right back. Okay, so unfortunately I now need to run all the way back to A1 to snag one of the lower level things to use as a pet, and then I'll kill some of the stuff in A3, and you can see how I do it even though the A4 stuff isn't up. It's pretty much the same kind of thing. The fights are, even against A1 stuff, the fights are very, very similar, because everything hits for the same amount. It just becomes higher level so that you get more resists on slows, or gets to the point where you can't even use, oops, that's not an actual door. It gets to the point where you can't use regular mezzes on the stuff in A4, and you need to use Rapture, or not stun them at all in order to deal with them, which gets tricky because you got a pet beating on you and you're not able to stun the other guy, and it's fun. I've talked before in videos about the annoyances of dealing with stuff that's level 56 and above because you can't mez them or stun them. You can mez them with Rapture, but it sucks up a lot of mana, and you can only cast it once every 24 seconds. So I'm going to gnome it up so that I'm not crouching through all of A1 because of how low the walls are. Excuse me. I've probably only shown you not even half of all the area that's in. I didn't run around the forest hardly at all, and it's pretty expansive back there, really, even though I don't think there's a heck of a lot important back there. What else was I going to say? There's a whole east wing to this zone, I guess, but I think it's not as much stuff that you fight, as much like little gimmicky jokes and stuff like that. I'm not sure exactly. That's what I've heard. I haven't explored it yet. This is still A2. There we go. You can tell when you're at A1 because the doors are small even by gnome standards. And there's not as much room to work with when dealing with picking up a pet. So I'm going to change spells a little bit here. These guys are low enough level that I don't think I have trouble just sticking AoE mez on them, but it does resist sometimes. I'm going to med up just a little bit more, and then I'll show you how I deal with fighting stuff at A4. Torpors. Very clever. Not that my name is exactly award-winning. It's too bad that it's as difficult to get to this zone as it is, and that there's no way for most people to... Well, no. Most classes can bind here. There's not a good way for melee to bind here, though. They would need to use a Locket of Escape, which I think is really expensive to recharge. You have to find somebody who really trusts you for them to give it to you to use it. So standard groups don't happen up here very often. There were like 7 or 8 Azure Guard in the zone earlier. I don't know if they were all bound here and died doing something else, or if they had a group here and then left, but they didn't seem to stay around long enough to do anything. I think Bren is the one I want to charm. I don't think it matters. You know what? I don't know if these guys... they're not assisting. It seems strange to me. Like that second guy just stayed amiable, even though I was aggroed on the guy who was right next to him. But, oh, whatever. So, in a little bit of non-classic shenanigans, Summon Companion apparently works on charmed monsters. I didn't even know that until 2 weeks ago or something when I watched a stream of Nibris's, because I didn't remember it working that way in Classic, so I just assumed it didn't work that way here. But there you have it. I summoned my charmed pet to me, which really makes navigating the zone a lot easier, because with all the portals, like within this area, it wouldn't be horrible to run a pet across the area without him aggroing. You know, odds are he's not going to break. Ugh. People bind back here all over the place. Odds are he's not going to break charm and get me killed, you know, right away or anything. That happened. I died earlier, or had earlier. See how he walked through that wall? If charm breaks when he's walking through a wall like that, he summons me, and I end up in a completely different part of the dungeon. And he's hitting me through the ground, but I can't see him, and I can't hit him with AoE stuns. So, being able to use being able to use summon companion and charm things helps you maneuver around without, getting killed. So I'll kill this guy. He's the rat from. Maybe this is no. He's the guy from. He's from A4. I think he hits for 156. My pet hit maybe 152. I don't remember. My pet hits just as hard. When charm holds, there's no problems. If charm breaks, then you'll. How I handle things when charm breaks. I either get summoned or they both run right towards me right away and start beating on me. I try to cast Color Flux because it's a very fast cast, so I can get it off even though my pet is hasted and quadding and beating on me. Usually I can get it off. I'll immediately follow it up with Color Slant, which is my higher level stun that lasts a long time, so that my pet's stunned for a while. Then I mesmerize my pet, rapture the other mob, then I can retosh, recharm my pet, get Rune and Bedlam back up, blur this guy with Blanket of Forgetfulness, sick my pet on him again. Rapture actually does a very good job of blurring usually, so a lot of the time when that happens I don't even need to use Blanket. It's a little annoying because the mobs will start healing for 5% per tick when they get blurred, and then it makes these fights are pretty long anyways. My pet he's quadding, and he's hits as hard as this thing does. Harder actually, it looks like. I've only seen a 146. I think they hit the same. My pet's got Augment, which is like a 45% haste. And, it still takes 2.5 minutes or so for him to kill this guy. Even longer for the stuff that's higher level, like the A422 guy. I don't remember why I was talking about how long the fight is, but... Oh, when you get charm breaks and then they heal. You end up having to cast 2 slows because it takes so long to kill them and stuff. But when charm holds, which it does pretty well when you're, toshing things and you got max charisma and you're level 60 and you're using, the minus magic resist gear and stuff. I will go kill a 22 now as well, the A422. A little bit risky to do when my pet's wounded because he's buff. Oops! Oh no! I got a card, but I'm getting killed. Ah! Please don't kill me! I'm trying to pick up my loot. Fucker! A squire! Ah! You son of a bitch! Anyways, I guess I'll let my pet heal up now while I Anyway, letting him heal up. My rune's probably mostly gone. I really should probably recast it, but I'm feeling lazy. So I'll charm him up again, and then use him to kill him. He hasn't stormed here yet. That was loud. Alright. Emmon's throwing me all off, talking to me about Howling Stones after I've left the zone and moved on to bigger and better things. First time I've had somebody do a cam check in here. So this guy's not level 60, but he's going to hit for 180 max. And he can be a little resisty, but not like the A-form one is. If Charm breaks when he's not slowed, it's going to get ugly because he's going to make it hard for me to get off my stuns and my mezzes. I haven't had a charm break during that yet, though, unfortunately. And also, if you have a couple charm breaks and I end up using Rapture to get things under control again, it really sucks the mana up. My mana is a lot better off now than it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago before I got my Nereid Shawl and my Infinite Void and my Hero, and I put on my Nas. And I got a bunch of crap, but and since I got rid of my Charisma Bracers. So anyway, I've got like 400 or 500 more mana than I used to, but it still is rough on the mana when you're having to recast and cast Raptures. But so this guy can handle things pretty well when stuff's slow. I don't know why I worry about junk buffing myself in here. There's nothing that dispels, but habit. So yeah, he can handle himself pretty well when he's a little buffed and they're slowed. This little guy managed to finish off the A422, who's level 60, even though I had 5 slow resists. He was actually pretty much holding even. He was a little under 70, I think, and the 22 was at about 70% when I finally managed to stick a slow. Dudes do a lot of damage and swing really fast, so fortunately you can just kind of chain cast slow and not pull aggro as long as you wait a few percent right at the beginning. Like I said, I've been here for a few hours. I've soloed all this stuff probably twice through, and I duoed it maybe twice through, and I killed a few other random things here or there. It's been interesting because my spell lineup has changed quite a bit from what I'm used to it being, because of the way how high level this stuff is and how tricky it is to get it under control, or how a resist will kill you. Whereas like in Howling Stones, if I get a resist on the mez, I can just have AoE mez here, and I can just use my clicky to refresh my thing and try again. But here it doesn't work as well because that mez won't even stick on some of the stuff. And a white squire. Bull crap. I don't want to pull those guys. But it's... Oh, I forgot to check. I checked my timer to see when it's going to be 19 more minutes until the A4s are back up. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to camp him off, and then I'll... There's actually other people in the zone too, so I don't know if they're going to try and take my camp if I'm not sitting right there. I've heard that there's some friendlier etiquette regarding camps and disputes over them in this zone than there is in a lot of other places in P99. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but I've heard that people are very respectful of camps and stuff up here. It's weird because since camps are everything is a 72-minute respawn, I think some people just log on a character that's up here to do stuff, and then they'll log on something else if it's camped, or they'll kill it and then switch for an hour and come back. I don't have any other characters I care to play, so it doesn't really work for me. But, oh boy, I'm slow without Spirit Wolf. Really need to get some day boots. So I'll run back over here to the actual camp and rebuff myself while I wait another like 15 minutes or whatever until the big guys pop back up, and then I'll kill those for the video just because. See if I get an unlucky charm break that I have to try to handle. I can't decide how I feel about the zone. When I first came in, I thought it looked awesome, right? Because the forest looks really cool, and you got this big moat around the castle area. I really don't know how long's left of my buffs, so I'm just going to redo all of them while I'm waiting. And there's traps, and there's tricks, and there's all kinds of mobs I've never seen before. I thought it was pretty cool, right? And then go into the main hall, still cool. running through hidden passages, around corners. There's all kinds of stuff you have to remember, little things to click on to teleport around. Cool. Hedge maze, I really liked that area. But then it gets weirder from there. The upside down rooms, the giant chessboard, and then this area is just random, I guess, random. The theater area looks super cool. I would like to kill the puppets there. I'll probably duo them sometime soon and do a video of it. But anyway, yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about the zone because it's so strange, and everything's, as I've said before, not kill on sight, pretty spread out in most of the places. Very, like the puppets that you kill for the best place to get thrones, that theater area. The puppet gods are the things you kill. They're really high level and they're really buff, but they're rooted in place. They're not casters. So it's just I don't know what it is about Velius with its little gimmicky solo zones, but between Siren's Grotto and this, it's like they want you to do gimmicky things in here or something, because that's what you can do with these classic mechanics. I don't know why they decided to make zones like this in Velius when they're more typical standard dungeon crawl, dungeons, tight quarters full of stuff that wants to kill you in Classic and Kunark, and in some of Velius, but these two zones are way different. I think I've got all my stuff recast. Oh, I never recast that rune that I said needed it. So I'm going to check my log again here in a minute to see when. How many things have I killed? I gotta try and figure. Everything's got the same damn names, so it's hard to go and look through my logs and remember which ones when I killed them. Let's see here. Okay, so I killed the rat. I gotta reload my log so that it's got everything updated in it. I need to use Gina to keep track of these timers. Gina? Whatever. Okay, so I killed 22. I killed the gorilla. Oh no, the mouse. I think that it was 59 minutes ago that I killed these guys, so we got 12 or 13 minutes until respawns. Just enough time for me to recast these buffs, met up, go get my pet and bring it back. I'm a little jealous that my guild's in hate and I'm not up there, but I'm enjoying my time here figuring this zone out and doing a video. I've been getting complaints, not really complaints, but people saying, "Are you done doing videos? You haven't done one lately." And how much more content are you going to do videos for? Because you've got so many in Howling Stones, but there's other dungeons and you haven't done them or whatever. So well, here it is. And so yeah, met up a little bit more. And the weird thing about this zone, people are in and out. There'll be 7 people here 1 minute and then 1. I think that what kind of wears on me about the zone the most is the loot system is interesting, but it's grueling because you will go a long time without getting drops, especially if you're going after the thrones, I think. And those are the drops that you need. Almost all of the items that are in here that are any good whatsoever require 1 or even 2 throne cards, which sell for 30 to 60,000 platinum each. And if you want to do the class armor, it's even more than that because of the weird way you have to do the combines in these little containers and the different quest NPCs you deal with. You end up using a lot of plat worth of cards in order to make 1 piece or a few pieces of your class armor. But I think that might turn off a lot of people in here. So whereas a trio could lock down, or even a duo could do the puppets and kill It's like 8 or 9 mobs every 72 minutes that all of them can drop thrones. Whereas here I'm killing 3 things every 72 minutes that can drop thrones. And then I could be killing other stuff that drops the lower level cards, like that white squire that I got. But because of the slow respawns, and I'm losing my voice, I need to get a drink. I'll be back in a minute. Because of the slow respawns and the way the loot works, I think that it might turn a lot of people off to this zone compared to someplace like Walex or Seblas. In a few more minutes I'll go fetch my pet. Actually, I'll probably do it now. Get him buffed back up and bring him back over here, and I can just hold him in place with dazzles until I get a respawn. So slow. I have plenty of plat to go buy J-boots. I just don't want to. But I also don't want to use my Southpaw charges. Too lazy. I guess it doesn't really matter all that much if you've got J-boots or Sow in here, since everything you're fighting is just going to summon you anyways. But it does make it a little easier to travel through these large areas of Alice in Wonderland here. Oh, it wasn't actually a text I got. Oh, ran past my door. It wasn't a text I got earlier. It was somebody commenting on one of my videos. Up front were amiable. Oh, maybe it's because of the... Yeah, that's what it is. It's because of my clicky. There are a few things in here you can kill that cause you to lose faction with the zone, apparently. But there's also fixes to get that faction back if you do it right. Because if you end up killing a site in here, it'll be a lot more annoying to deal with this zone. Although I don't know if any of this stuff sees invis. I haven't been running around invisible, since nothing hates me anyways. Oops. Alright. There's our friend 22. Oh, this is still A2. I have a really hard time telling. Probably just not paying very much attention. I've used the gorilla from A1 as a pet as well. He's a little tougher than the halfling guys, but he doesn't, the smaller, the tiles being different makes it look like I'm moving so much faster. Wow, look, I'm flying. Whee. I forgot what I was saying. Let's see if I can do this without a resist. Ooh, got one. That'll be interrupted my stun. He's going to beat up my rune. I've wondered if I'm far enough away from where my pet is, so that if I had a charm break in the moment between gating and summoning, if I would be able to camp out in time before my pet trained to me. I don't think I would, because I'm pretty sure that my pet's not going to be playing by the rules. I'm pretty sure he's going to run through walls and stuff to get to me. Keep him targeted so I can mez him if he breaks, and then I need to mez him again from where the thing is. Because I can watch into the room here, like this. So, and then in this room is where the two A4 big ol' halflings respawn. And then I'll kill those two and 22 for the video, hopefully. And hopefully get a bunch of crown and throne drops. Yay. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed though. It sounds like killing 50 of these, you might see a throne. I think Save said he's killed his way through this stuff like 7 or 8 times, so 25 mobs or so. He's got 1 throne. But anyway, I don't even know how long I'll stay in the zone. Really, it's interesting. It's kind of nice, the 72-minute respawn. Like, if you really do just want to cherry pick the few things that can drop thrones, you can spend 15 minutes killing them, and then you can spend 45 minutes reading a book or doing whatever else you want. You know, that's the kind of stuff I basically do in all the dungeons where I solo for loot, is I kill a couple things, the minimum that I have to usually, and then I'll, now that I'm 60, oh, he's back up faster than I thought he was going to be. Bren violence. These guys will resist once in a while, but they usually aren't too hard to stick it on. I think that 22 is a little behind the spawn of these two. I don't remember for sure. I'll find out here soon. So, but yeah, you know, in Howling Stone South, I would kill 1 named most of the time, because it's easy for me to then log off and or just sit there AFK, medding up, and do something else, read a book, peruse the forums for some high quality content, get something done around the house or whatever. This zone would be even better for it, I guess. I don't know if it's too much better for it, and then I'm not going to like it. We'll see. Probably depend on if I get lucky and get a throne drop or 2 here in the next week. How much longer I'm going to stay after that. When I came up here initially, you know, knew I was going to be paying to get a Koth across TOV and getting bound up here. And, you know, if I die in the back of Howling Stones East or the bottom of Sebelis, it's quite a course run from here, because I'm going to have to run out of this zone, get a port out of Cobalt at Scar, all that crap. That'd be a pain in the butt. So I was planning on being here for a long time, but we'll see if I can stand being in here for a month or whatever before I get bored of the same scenery. I guess maybe I'll branch out and be adventurous, even with my bind point in here. We'll see. I could definitely do some more of the solo parts of my epic, maybe, while I'm at it. And Bran is winning the fight handily. After this fight is over, well, I guess I don't need to break charm to let my pet heal. The next one spawns soon. I think I killed them pretty much back to back, so I should have the next one up momentarily. I hope there's no pathing issues with letting these guys flee. BAM! Hey, there's the good luck I was talking about. Now I want to stay here forever. I don't know how much that was worth, but it's a significant amount of Hisk. Not playing Eve? What am I talking about? Oh, please get him. Pick him up. Pick him up. Don't kill me. Well, that's pretty nice. White Throne. I think that's one of the I think blues are the most valuable, but I think whites are second. I'll have to check after I... This guy's gonna manhandle my pet if I don't get him slowed. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be interesting. Oh, I fucked it up. I didn't cast the right spell. I got lucky there. I was supposed to go 4, 5, 1, 2. Uh-oh. Whew. Alright, I gotta get recharmed and blur here quickly. Oh, fuck. Quicker than that. Rapture didn't blur him, I don't think, and I don't have my spells up. This is gonna hurt. He's not slowed yet either. Yikes. Oh, it's gonna hurt so bad. Run away! Oh, if I get low hit point aggro, I'm gonna die. Yeah. Well, I got a white throne anyways, right? And I'm going to respawn in 22's room, right by where I was a minute ago. So I'll kill these two off. I'll med back up and I'll kill this asshole. Get my revenge on him. So yeah, I messed that up, right? I should have been able to pull that off because even though I messed it up, I didn't have the right spells memmed ahead of time. I didn't cast the right spells when Charm broke. There's not any wiggle room there, you know, as you saw. I need to do everything right or else I get myself killed. And, you know, that's exactly what happened. Since nothing's kill on sight, I can take my sweet ass time running around with all the wrong spells up to rebuff myself. Spells that regenerate first. My longest cat duration buffs next. Yeah, White Throne. How about that? That's pretty sweet. So, right, to recap my death one more time. Because it happens quickly and I talk fast. Sometimes. What I need to do is, when Charm breaks, I need to cast Color Flux to stun my pet quickly, right away. Because he's hitting fast, so it's hard to get off the longer cast stuns. Then I need to do the other longer stun so that I can get off Mez on my pet, and then a Rapture on the big guy. Then I pick my pet back up. And I should have had like a Forgetfulness here to blur the big guy, so that way he doesn't keep summoning me after I'm already wounded and down Bedlam and Rune. Unfortunately, that charm broke at just the wrong time, so he wasn't slowed yet. Further, unfortunately, whatever, is I had the wrong spell memmed, and I also only cast my Color Flux instead of my Color Slant, and I got lucky that the Mez went off on my pet at all. But mainly the reason I died there, maybe I would have died anyways, but I definitely messed up big time by not having Blanket of Forgetfulness memmed in that situation, because it meant that I had that guy chasing me around and beating me down. I could have raptured him again, I guess. You know, it kind of crossed my mind, and I thought to myself, no, that'll take too much mana, don't do it. And then... anyways, so now I got my mana regen buffs up, and I'll let those do their thing, and I'll have to run back and get my pet again. And all that shenanigans, but then I will kill these guys. Let's see who of my friends are on, who I can brag to. Brain freeze will be, yeah, get a kick out of it. I'm checking the wiki at the moment to see how much my white throne is worth. Or white items I can use it for that matter. It's like 30k. Right around 30k it looks like. Let's see what it's used for. Well, it's used for a bunch of items, but things that I might be interested in actually using. You know, there's these, besides the gear that you actually wear in here, there's these flowers of functionality, which have their head items. You don't have to equip them. They're all, every race, every class. They have 10 AC, no weight. But they cast a resist buff. It's 50 resist. There's one for every resist. They have weird stacking. But you know, they're better for melee. You know, or the ones that do stack, like the poison resist one stacks with everything. So those are kind of nice. Like, you know, if you're an uber geared North Temple of Ishan monk, it'd be nice to buff all your resist by an additional 50. And so flowers of functionality are key for that. Those things are in here too. I have no real interest in them because the magic resist one doesn't stack with my magic resist buff. The other ones aren't, you know, really resists that I ever need. I'm usually pretty full on buffs anyways, trying to get my AC and my hit points and mana regen as high as I can. And the other, you know, in group situations or raids, the most of them don't stack anyways. So, but what was I saying about? Let's see what items I might want. The Belt of Inconsistency would be the big one, and it does need a white throne. It also needs a white crown and a blue throne. So that's like another 70k worth of drops that I would still need in order to make it. It's basically like a bone clasp girdle. More AC, some resists, but less stats and slightly less hit points and mana. I would love one of those. I think there's a bracelet that I would like to, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it. It needs a white throne and a blue throne also. So it's like a 120k item basically for 5 int. Oh, that's pretty nice though. Well, cross that bridge when I get to it. First, I need to get revenge on Gren. What buffs do I still need? Alignment. Guess I don't need that one up there. So yeah, my death was unfortunate, but a byproduct of still getting used to the zone and the spells that I need to have ready and stuff for different situations. So, not much longer here, and I'll be able to... Oh no, what if he respawns before I get my pet again? Oh yeah, that's right. It's a 72-minute respawn. Oh no, what if the Torpor Shaman comes and kills my mob? Fuck it. Pretty pumped about my 726 AC and my 1556 self-buffed hit points. Made miles difference. I mean, I could have gotten my gear better before I got the Nereid Shawl, because I could have bought the hero and the Spider Fur belt, and I could have bought all this crap and put it on before. It's just that the huge amount of charisma on this thing, even though it does have, that's 2.4 hit points per stam, so it's like negative 20 hit points, and terrible AC. But it has so much charisma and a fair amount of int on it, so it really freed up other slots so that I could, pick up some int and some other stats that are also useful. Oops, don't want to do that. Wouldn't have mattered, but... Okay. Time to go... Hey, maybe it hasn't been... By the time I get back there, I probably will. I was going to say, maybe it hasn't been too long since I toshed those dudes way back in A1, and they'll still be toshed so that my mez will stick right away. But I think it's probably been too long. No, I want you to be amiable. Amiable. Big old gorilla smack beating his chest while he's feeling amiable. Oh, no, looking friendly. Synonyms, Crawl my way back here. Okay, so the next time I leave, I promise I'll get J-boots. That way you can hear me stop complaining about the fact that I don't have J-boots. Excuse me. I think I have like, I don't know, 55k or something sitting around, so I can afford the J-boots. I need to get a Pegasus cloak too, just so that I have 4 clicky junk buffs. That'd be pretty nice. Oh, I forget though. I always forget that this is a clicky buff too. I actually have not ever clicked that yet, but I have used Water Elemental Illusion a number of times moving through water zones. Even though I could click it, I forget. Oh well. Here, I'll do it right now. I think it'll help me get through the small doors. Will that be smaller? Maybe. Maybe it'll help me get through these tiny doors up here. Nope. No, it's not. The crouching water elemental. Okay. So, hopefully they both stick this time. They did not. What's this pet got against me, man? Guess he's just angry because he knows what I'm going to do to him. Let him get beat up. Okay. He didn't even get through Bedlam. That was nice. Oh, oh, oh. I thought he was blurred. Is probably up now. Yeah, he's tough. I'll pull my pet back into the next room to kill the other halfling, and then I'll do 22 after that. Although I probably should kill 22 first because he's tougher, I guess. Alright, pet, you ready? Whoa, I almost forgot again. There. Pet's not hasted, I don't think. get slowed. Come on. Don't give me 5 slows again like last time. Uh-oh. Pull it off. Nope. Fucked. What's happening here? Come on, Rapture. You can do it. Oh, no. Damn. That's bad luck. I didn't do anything wrong that time. I fat-fingered like once, but I still should have been able to pull it off. It was bad luck getting interrupted like 4 times. Pain in my ass. I guess I'll keep the video rolling. I really do want to kill these guys. Bums. Yeah, I can still die 3 more times before I lose my level. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But I would really like to kill these guys and see if they also have thrones that they would like to give me. Now, see, this is what annoys me about new zones and doing videos is now I'm going to be meting up for another 15 minutes before I can do anything interesting again. But it sounds like a lot of people who watch these videos watch them while they're doing something else. So I don't get your undivided attention, but it's better for you because then you don't have to worry about... you can hear when I engage something if you want to turn and start watching. I'm probably going to be silent and AFK or something while I met up here again this time. I got an assortment of corpses over here. Maybe I'll use like Ogre Illusion or something next so that I can put an Ogre corpse over here if I die again. Okay. Nope. How many times did I get interrupted on that Dazzle? Or that Rapture? I was hoping that slow was going to go off. The slow was, Forlorn Deeds had just like a fraction of a second left when Charm broke, and I didn't get summoned right away because the melee round and the big guy wasn't ready yet. And I was hoping it was going to go off and slow him right at the last second. Then I could have pulled that off, I think. But since it didn't, you can see here, my pet was stunned. He got off maybe 1 round on me, but then like all this was from what's his name beating on me. So yeah, Rune was gone before I mezzed my pet. Rapture interrupted, and I was stunned. Rapture interrupted. Dead. Yeah, go figure. You can't get beat on by an unslowed level 60 mob with 1556 hit points for more than the time it takes to get 3 spells interrupted. Maybe my method of using the tiny stun and then the big stun is not ideal when dealing with a... Shit, my pet wasn't even hasted, was he? I don't even think my pet was hasted. He only got off that 1 round, though, I guess. No, that dude not being slowed did me in. So, I'm not sure if the double stun method that I'm trying to use on Charm Breaks is the best. It's just... It seemed like when I'm dealing with a hasted pet, it's too hard to cast these 1.5 second stuns. This one doesn't last, it's only 6 seconds. This one lasts 8. But it's hard to get him off with my pet beating on me and getting me pushed around. So the 1 second stun is a better chance of getting off a quick spell right away, and then I can cast a big one, and then I can mez. But yeah, only so much you can do when you don't have a slow stuck yet on the big guy. I'm gonna need to do this and this and this. Need to get my epic so that I can. Guess I'll start with myself seeing this. Need to get my epic so that I can give myself AC and agility buff without having to use mana on augment all the time. I need to get some more illusions. I don't have all of them. I've never bothered to go look, really. Alright, I'm turning the mic off for a couple minutes while I finish medding up. And, I guess I'll run back over to the pets right now. Heals to Dara, and heals isn't on, so he's doing something else somewhere. He's not with the group, the guild. But maybe if Paramedics dies again. Oh, he's probably bound out in the forest though, because he mentioned that he can solo in here as a 59 cleric, so he's probably bound outside, not in here. But I was gonna say maybe if he dies again in hate, I can harass him to cast a couple reses on me before somebody clicks him up there. Yeah, Brain Freeze is pointing out that when a charm breaks before slow, he doesn't try to salvage it, he just hats out. You know, my thought is that if I die up here, you know, there's clerics regularly around, so it's not gonna be a long wait before I can get rezzed. And you know, I don't mind camping if if 2.5 hours pass on my first corpse and nobody's here to res me yet, and then I'll just go do something else. Yeah, I don't want to. I wouldn't eat these deaths. You know, that's what Brain Freeze looked like he was concerned about, dying and then losing XP because you don't get rezzed. I'm not gonna eat those deaths. I'm gonna get reses for them. All right. Now Tosh is still going to be on these guys. It hasn't been 10 or 11 minutes since I did that this time, but I don't want to deal with keeping my pet juggled with Dazzle until I'm ready, so I'll just net up and finish buffing up here, and then I'll go give it another go. be right back one more time before we go at it again. Letting my cat back into my office, so hopefully he minds his P's and Q's so I can get this done. I really want to kill those two guys. Okay. Please don't resist this time. Excellent. Get this guy blurred, and then I can get out of here. Pet's not hasted. I gotta remember to do that this time. I don't use Visions of Grandeur or Wondrous Rapidity because I figure the pet can kill this guy without those. So I might as well not haste him more than I need to in hopes of being able to survive if it gets ugly. Here goes again. There. Should be in much better shape now, even though I forgot to mem Blanket of Forgetfulness again like I was supposed to. This guy's a pain because you can't see where he is. My cat is not minding his P's and Q's. He's like ripping at some toy dress of my daughter's or something, but I'm not going to step away to deal with it at the moment, so. So now I just need Charm to hold, and my pet can spank this guy's butt. Excuse me. I should just stay targeted on my pet, so that way if I do have a charm break, it's just literally 4, 5, 1, switch targets, 2. And then, you know, I've got at least a little breathing room. A very little bit. I don't know if 22 here has more hit points because he's level 60, and you know I don't know what level the other stuff is, but it's not 60, it's blue. Or if my pet just misses more because of the level differential, but it definitely takes a long time to kill this guy. I'm almost wondering if this fight seems like it's taking especially long. I almost wonder if I'm going to need a second slow just to make sure it finishes alright. I guess not. He does flee at like 18% or something like that anyways, so without a charm break the fight won't last long enough that I need another one. Help my pet out a little bit with his hit points since I'm almost full mana, so that I can go right after the next halfling in the other room without having to break my pet and let him heal. Kind of fun watching the little guy just swing, punch, punch, smack him with the torch, give him a little kick every once in a while. Crazy old halflings. He bashed that time. Wonder how mobs decide if they're going to bash or kick. I think they're on the same cooldown. Alright. Finish him off, and then I'll go get the other guy. Oh, my cat. He's driving me insane. If I had something to throw at him other than a glass full of water, I would. Oh, they're slow and rough. Get him, Bren. Go, go. Oh, not bad. I'll take it. Would have shit myself if I got another throne. See, I knew there was a reason these guys were so tough. They were defending their loot with their lives. And somebody pulled my merb. Maybe he killed it while I was recovering? Apparently somebody boned in on my camp. I got my eye on you, Upheaval. He's been around the zone. I've seen him pop in here and there. I think a fair number of people probably just gate in right here. And don't mind me, I'm just going to camp out right next to you here. Hopefully you get that guy finished off before I get camped out. Not that I'm a mean, vindictive person or anything, but I think a lot of people camp out right here, and then they... or not camp out, they're bound right here, and they'll gate in or log on to see if there's something up, and if there is, they'll kill it right away. Although I don't know where this rat fink guy came from. He must have been down below and, or fell into a pit and then gated up here. I don't know if my pet's going to assist that rat fink or not. Anyway, so that's the experience I've been having today in playing Mischief. Got my drops right here at the end of the day. Apparently, I went with nothing all day, and then I got that white squire, the white throne, and the red crown all right there at the end. And who knows what was on that other thing that I was trying to kill that this guy, I'm assuming, killed. With his little rat thing. Who knows? Oh well. Pretty cool zone. Trying to decide if I should drag my corpses somewhere other than here to get them rezzed, or... Alright, gonna call it good for the video. Maybe I'll do another one. I'll do another one for sure if I do the theater area, the puppets, because that's kind of awesome. It looks like it's a cool looking area, and it's tough stuff, and it's better chances of drops. So I'll do a video for that, and maybe I'll do another one to wander around some more or something. But I'm also going to get back to Siren's Grotto once I'm fed up here. Still have to visit the rest of Sebelis, run around Shadrock a little bit, and piss around other stuff when I get bored of all that too.